everybody, today's tips and tricks for Tuesday is going to be rosemary and lavender propagating. So everybody's got lavender and rosemary in their garden. If they're not, come down and get some. We're going to be learning how to take a big plant like this and create a bunch of little plants that you can then propagate and have it all set up. So first things first, you're going to need gardening scissors, some labels for your new plants, 2 pots that have soil in them, a texter to mark out which ones are which, and then a skewer. Alright, so if we get started, we'll set these 2 up at the start first. First things first is you want to come up here and you want to get a cutting off of the top of one of the lavender plants that doesn't have a flower on it. So you don't want the flowering ones yet, you want one that hasn't flowered yet. This one's got a small little flower starting, so we won't grab that one. We'll grab this one over here and we'll just cut it right at the bottom where the other 2 come out. You see the 2 leaves at the front there? So you cut so that there's still leaves at the top there. Alright, and then we'll cut maybe 2 or 3 of these, maybe more. Gotta really pick and choose. You want to flatten the soil at the top. You want to get your skewer and you stick it in directly touching the pot. So right where the pot sits with the soil, you want there to be a hole right there. Alright, so you pop a couple of holes, maybe 3 or 4 around the edges like that with your skewer. Then you take your plant, you take 2 fingers and you take 2 fingers and you rip all the leaves off the bottom. Then you stick it in where you've made that small hole and slowly tap the soil around it so that it holds it in place like that. And so now I'll do that for the rest of these ones here. Having it up against the pot like this helps it when it's training up. So as it starts growing, it'll go up straight instead of wonky like they look now. Alright, now that you've got all of those pieces in, you put your label on, you write down what it is, chuck it in there, and then you sit it to the side and you water it from the top because it helps the soil kind of condense back in and keep the plants where they are so they don't fly away. And then you've got ready to go propagating lavender. It's the same kind of thing for the rosemary as well. So it's the same technique of where you cut and how you go about it. This one, it doesn't really matter if it is flowering though. Alright, now that we've got our cuttings, it's the same process. So you get your skewer, you stick a small hole right up against the pot, take all of the petals from the second to the bottom where you've cut it, and you just rip them all off because that's where the roots will then go from, is those spots where those leaves were. Stick that in and there we go. Okay, stick that one in there and we've got Avenue lavender. Doesn't matter the size of the pots either, you can go whatever pot size you have, especially if it's one of these little ones like this. It'll do fine like that as well. But yeah, so now we just have to water from the top and we've got 2 propagations started.